Journal-Record Capital correspondent Catherine Sweeney joins us with more stories making news in business this week. Catherine, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the Oklahoma City Zoo is already a ways down the road towards building what's described as a tourist-level aquarium. What's happening here?
Oklahoma City is considering MAPS 4, that's a sales tax initiative, and they're trying to decide what they could do with it. One of those things is a massive aquarium in downtown Oklahoma City. It turns out the zoo here has already done a feasibility study on that. They found it could draw 700,000 people a year and that it would take about 5 acres. We already have an aquarium over in Jenks, but leaders say that we could have both and they'll work together.
Huh. Now, among the many bills that lawmakers will take up this year is one that's designed to deal with the unintended consequences of the state's battle against opioid abuse. Tell us about what the issues are here.
For a little background, the issue that somebody fought last year was people were getting really long-term doses for opioids, a 30-day subscription for minor injuries or minor operations like getting a tooth pulled. So in 2018, they passed a bill that said if you have one of those prescriptions for opioids for a small thing like that, it can only last 7 days. Well, there are a lot of vague parts of the law, and it's caused a lot of issues, so doctors are feeling pretty concerned about prescribing any opioids, and constituents are reaching out to their legislative representatives and asking for some amendments that could clear up those vague portions.
It also appears that the vaping industry is headed for increased regulation. What's the latest on that?
There are a lot of provisions going before the legislature this year that would crack down on vaping, but one of the biggest ones, one of the most visible, is they're trying to consider raising the age of legal buys. So teenagers would no longer be able to buy vapes, they would have to be 21. The supporters for that movement are saying that we're seeing a ton of teens use vapes. There was a 78% increase in those usages from 2017 to 2018, according to the National Youth Tobacco Survey. So they're wanting to raise that and make it a little harder for them to use it.
Yeah. Downtown Chickasha is going to be turned into a major construction zone soon. Tell us what's happening there.
The city has an incentive program to try to bring in developers to modernize their downtown. So they're doing a 2-for-1 match. For each dollar a developer puts in, well, for $2 a developer puts in, the city will put in $1. So that's bringing in about 28,000 square feet of renovation. Some of that will be mixed use. That's an urban kind of development that has shopping or eateries mixed with residential areas, so kind of like when you're in a city and you see a cafe at the bottom and apartments up at the top, Chickasha will be getting some of that.
Catherine Sweeney with the Journal-Record, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.